Hey everybody, look at this dork down here. Let's check out what he had to say yesterday before price fell. You ready? Catch a dip on whatever. If you are short-term time frame more bullish or mid-term time frame bullish, then if that describes you, then this could be a good pickup for your efforts. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial. That is the CME gap fill box that I made in my video from yesterday. Advisor, these are simply two key areas to look out for. Let's throw on the monthly 10 EMA. And time frame looking for a pullback this week into the CME gap fill. And we looking for a pullback this week to go to the CME gap fill, and the thumbnail for that video looked like this, says weekly uptrend fake out. All right, now that we've gotten that move, let me put the exact same box that I had on there. Let me make myself a little smaller here. The exact boxes that I had, let me throw these back on. Bam. We have gotten that move. You can see that it's hit the bottom of that box. Therefore, if you are short-term time frame bullish, this could be a strong area of interest for you. And you can see, though, let's go down to the 5-minute time frame, but let's study how the candles are reacting on this weekly 10 EMA. See this weekly 10 EMA? All right, it had to come a little lower for CME to fill that gap. And now what I'm expecting price to do is to soundly get above this weekly 10 EMA. And here's where it's going to start running into trouble, is the weekly 55. And again, the reason I can have the weekly 55 and weekly 10 on a 5-minute chart, because I'm using the MTF EMAs to set that up, and I pick my own color, all that jazz. Therefore, if somebody were deciding to enter positions down here, one would be looking for a hesitation of Bitcoin to get back above this weekly 55, because it could easily get rejected, in which you would scramble out of your positions at a profit. That would be what I'm looking for the next couple days here, is specifically price to get above the weekly 10, come up, and I'm going to really focus in on a 5-minute chart, 30-minute chart, whatever. I want to see price's reaction, small candles to this line, because if it looks like it's going to, get rejected by it, I'm going to get out of those positions. And that's the importance of the CME gap fill. So in that video, I was saying it's super statistically likely to be filled within 3 to 5 days. It's way over a 50% chance that has happened. So in the future, make sure you're paying attention to Bitcoin CME gaps that happen from a Friday. If the price of Bitcoin over the weekend is going up, that's what creates those gap fills. And typically, not typically, but over 12 years of price history, right? I guess CMEs haven't been around for 12 years, but over the price history of Bitcoin, since CMEs have been around, it is an extremely high likelihood that within 3 to 5 days, that gap will be filled. Very few are left open for extended periods of time, and that was our focus on the last analysis. So now that that's hit, what I want to show you is what I think Bitcoin might do right now, and why I'm short-term time frame bullish right now. But the weird thing about that is, everybody, and this is something that caused confusion in one of my videos from late last week, early this week, is I'm exceptionally bearish on the midterm timeframes. So let's go see what that means in the charts, how somebody could be short-term time frame bullish, what my targets would be, and then review why I'm midterm time frame in terms of the weekly scale, right? Like 5 weeks from now, I think we can have a bloodshed. That's midterm time frame. Let's go check it out. You ready?
Hit the like button
and subscribe,
or else I kill you. Let's go. I made a video a while back, and I literally put pictures on the chart of Humpty Dumpty and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I literally put them on there. Let's see if I can find my Arnold picture. Can I find him? Nope, I don't see Arnold. Do you see Arnold anywhere? I don't see him. Anyway, I put Arnold Schwarzenegger on a couple and Humpty Dumpty on different ones. Let me take off all these EMAs besides the weekly 10. And now we're only looking at the weekly 10 on the 1-hour chart. And from that video, I let everybody know this is very likely going to be a low or high, because it's a Humpty Dumpty reaction. The way the candles of small-term time frames are interacting and playing with this 10 in a downtrend, you simply don't. There are very few exceptions. One was the end of the Wyckoff in July, but without that exception, there hasn't been really an exception in years and years and years. You don't stay above the weekly 10 EMA in a downtrend if you react to it like that. Zoom in. Look. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. You need an Arnold Schwarzenegger pumping iron type of reaction, and that's what we got. Because of this reaction, so I started that video off by saying and I want to repeat this with my face big, the way price gets above 10 EMA matters. I think that's how I started off that video, and I'm freaking serious about it. So with that said, because Bitcoin got over the weekly 10 EMA like this, that is why I am bullish on this retest. All right, let's go to something like the 4-hour chart so I can scroll back in history a little bit better, and let's view. So Bitcoin right here was in a daily downtrend during, this is September to late September, early September to late September, October 1st around here. Started coming up on October 1st. Do you see how the way price got above this red line? It mattered, and it stayed above. Your Humpty Dumpty reactions in a daily downtrend simply don't stay above. Off of Wyckoff, you had an extremely strong candle. So this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger candle got above. Therefore, any retest of the weekly 10 statistically is a very, very good entry. The way it gets above this red line, which is the weekly 10, matters. The way the short-term time frame candles are behaving, when it crosses it, it's an extremely big deal. And this is particularly why I am short-term time frame bullish. Let's take another few examples here. This is perfect. Going back to September 2020, look. This is kind of a hybrid. You would say, yeah, it's kind of strong, not quite Humpty Dumpty, but it still fell back down. Zooming in here, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Price is the Humpty Dumpty, the wall is the red line, the weekly 10. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a miniature fall. Arnold Schwarzenegger, do you see the difference? Look. Arnold Schwarzenegger candle above the red line, and what happened afterward? It stayed above the red line for months and months and months. That is what you need. And that wasn't even a downtrend necessarily. I guess it was a daily downtrend, not a weekly downtrend. And it still required that type of move to get above. You see what? And that's going back, 2 years of price history, right? It's simply how it moves. That is why I am short-term time frame bullish, okay? Or actually, I was already short-term time frame bullish before that happened. This is why I remain short-term time frame bullish. Had the reaction been a Humpty Dumpty reaction above that red line or the weekly 10, my short-term time frame, talking about day-to-day price action, which any person in their right mind should change their minds almost daily, or feel comfortable changing their mind daily on a short-term time frame outlook, because it's called short-term time frame for a reason. You're supposed to change your outlook very regularly, right? Okay. But I'm maintaining my short-term time frame bullishness because of what I just showed you. However, the conditions for me to switch my mid-term time frame outlook, which is very bearish right now, and I'm going to show you why, it has remained the same because the conditions to change that haven't happened yet. So let's go take a look. What needs to happen for me to change my outlook? I will take off this EMA. I will go to the 5-day chart. And I will take off my origin lines, and I'm going to throw on my, this. This is why I'm midterm time frame bearish. 100% hit rate, Bitcoin history. Either this cross means the second half of the bear market's beginning. Okay, that's going back to 2014. 20K top of 2017. Second half of the bear market of 2018. At that cross, the 5-day 21 EMA going below the 5-day 55 EMA, or it means capitulation imminent. See that cross? Capitulation imminent. See that? Now, zoom into this. Take a look. There you go. You have it again. It's a perfect hit rate. Now, there are only a sample size of 3 cases. Is this statistically significant in terms of math definitions? No, it isn't. You have to have a larger sample size. However, with the few iterations, in my opinion, even though it's not statistically significant to have 3 examples, yes, you can think to yourself with defensive posturing, okay, something new could happen, but it would be silly to bet on that. Does that make sense? If it's only happened one way and it's happened 3 times, and it just happened again, it's a wiser bet to bet that whatever happened in the past 3 times in a row Something similar, more similar to that's going to happen as opposed to the opposite happening. Am I making sense here? That is happening on the charts. I'm midterm time frame bearish. However, that does not mean, though, you can't have a candle, a 5-day candle or two come above to almost undo this cross and then roll over. And here's why I think that. And honestly, I think that is about what's ready to happen. Look, that's what happened here. So this is going back to late 2019, around Christmas. It crossed, you had multiple candles go above it, and then you fell down. And it would have been wise in this case to be short-term time frame bullish and mid-term time frame bearish, because the cross was actually the cross was totally undone, but then it played out. Do you see what I'm saying? And going back even farther, look here. After this cross, just like we have now, after the cross, price could potentially come up, live a couple candles above it, which is kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think something like this is about to happen. And there is a another YouTuber out there, I'm not going to mention names, even though it's a good thing, but he has a fractal of this section. He's been talking about it for quite a while. But on an independent basis, for different reasons, you know, totally different reasons, but we're landing on the same thing. Two different, YouTube crypto analysts are seeing the same type of thing, focusing on the same exact fractal. Midterm time frame bearish. For, in the end, the same reason, but we derive that conclusion totally differently. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. Something like this could happen after the cross, and I think that is potentially what's going to happen. Or worse, we just price gets rejected from here. But because of the reaction that Bitcoin had above that red line from the beginning of this video, I think something more like this is going to happen, because my conditions for being having a short-term time frame opinion, it has strong reason to be bullish. Therefore, because I'm midterm time frame bearish, that means the logical conclusion is something like this is going to be my conclusion of what's most probable. Short-term time frame bullish, I'm going to sell into the rally, and then I'm going to get the hell out and wait for a big drop. Something like this. That's what it means to be short-term time frame bullish, midterm time frame bearish. It would have been playing this perfectly. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. But that's my play right now, and I have justifiable and math-based, statistical-based reasons to have these ideas. And if you look at other things, like I did on my live show from today, look, the same cross is getting ready to happen on the Total 2 chart. And again, the Total 2 specifically is the market cap of all altcoins, including Ethereum, but not Bitcoin, right? Okay, it's a kind of a market indicator of the health of the market outside of Bitcoin, and the same thing applies. Bear market begins, second half starts accelerating at the same cross. And what did price do here? What did this chart do here? Right as it was crossing, price tried to come above it, but it actually got rejected from it. Rejected. But price, as it was crossing, this graph said, I want to come try to undo it, and it couldn't do it. Let's go to current price. Getting ready to cross. Price is coming up saying, I want to undo this, and it's getting rejected. Look at this. Candles, the wicks are being rejected from it. Clear rejection. Midterm time frame, very bearish. I'm exceptionally bearish on this. I don't know how this could be perceived as not compelling. Like, why people are talking about a freaking altcoin season and stuff. I think it's I think it's just completely irresponsible. It's beyond not good analysis, in my opinion, my humble opinion. I think it is freaking irresponsible to be out there on YouTube with mentioning freaking altcoin seasons in a serious manner. I'm mentioning altcoin season, but in a way that it's not going to happen. But yeah, these are the reasons why. So this is what the picture of what I think it looks like to be midterm time frame bearish. Now, let's zoom in a little bit on the chart so I can give you, okay, if I am short-term time frame bullish, where do I think this will go up to? All right, and I'm going to give you some secret sauce over here, so let's get it. I'm going to take off this EMA fill. We're going to do a 1-hour chart. I'm going to throw on my targets. Actually, I'm going to do my tilted range, and I want to zoom out so you can see what this tilted range is. People who watch my channel a lot, you already know this, but new viewers, Bitcoin is in a 30K range that is not horizontal. The bottom is tilted, and all these lines are perfectly parallel to the wick high to the wick high. 64 and change, 69 and change. Everything's perfectly parallel, and you can see how Bitcoin's perfectly playing in these lines. Green is the 3/4 zone. Yellow is the point of control, or the halfway, like half court in basketball, you know, the halfway point in a soccer pitch or soccer field. And then this is the 1/4 line, right? Because of the way that Bitcoin got above its weekly 10, which is this line right here, I am short-term time frame bullish. Therefore, because the point of control is the next area here, I actually now think the most probable target for an upside is closer to 48. 40 coming up shy, maybe 47 to 48K. Earlier this week, before this retest, so before the retest and the gap fill happened, I thought it had a better chance of coming up to 46 and then refilling this. However, now that it came down before it touched either of these lines, and it's done both the gap CME gap fill. Let me zoom in. It's both filled the CME gap from Bitcoin futures, and it's retested this 10 EMA after the Arnold Schwarzenegger move above. I now think that this target's too low, and that Bitcoin will have more power, and it's going to hit 48. And if I put a marker here, and now we go back to the 5-day chart, use that fill, that would be similar to a few candles, maybe next week or whatever, getting above here. Imagine that's a candle. Make that one red, 5-day candles. And that would be the equivalent of it getting above this EMA fill for a hot minute, just like in 2018, and coming back down. It's going to look the same. Like that is what I don't know. Am I sold 100% on that happening? Am I convinced that's going to happen? Am I making like a strong call? It's this or nothing? Absolutely not. However, right now, because of all the reasons I'm stating in this video, I think it looks to be by far the most probable scenario to happen over the next 3 weeks. To go up to 48K, get rejected, come down. Am I making this a cohesive analysis, better than I did a few videos ago? Short-term time frame bullish, the reasons why, the statistical reasons why. But as that runs into the midterm time frames and starts poking the midterm time frames on the shoulder, you wake up the midterm time frame and say, oh, shit, I have that cross? Oh, wait, you're above it? All right, get your ass back down. That's what's getting ready to happen. If you like this video and you don't know how to set up a chart like mine, click this video right here. I teach you how to do it in a 28-minute trading view tutorial video. If you want to learn how and why price moves the way it does, go ahead and click this playlist right here, full of my most important videos I've ever made. Click the circle in the middle if you're new to my channel. You just got Timified. Worldwide peace.